Audio check, audio check. Can you hear me? Audio check.
Yeah.
Okay, great. All right, audio check, day number two, day number two, day number two. How's everybody doing?
Good. How
Doing
are you?
good, doing good, Daraine.
I hear like 5 people in here. I said, how's everybody doing?
All right, fantastic,
Great,
bro.
great.
Good evening, good evening, good, Daraine.
Y'all had me thinking it was just 5 people in here.
Good evening,
Fighting
good
with these
evening.
debt collectors.
Y'all would hurt my feelings.
Fighting with these debt collectors, Daraine.
Yeah, we're finna get into some debt collection tonight.
All right, man.
All right, cool. All right, let me see. I got the chat up. I can see everybody. Audio is good. Audio is good. Boss lady, out is my audio. Check, 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 check. Mic check.
I mean, it could be clearer, but maybe it's just my speakerphone.
It's not clear? Oh, wow.
I feel like it could be clearer.
It could be clearer. Let's see.
Muffle.
All right. Well, I hope the audio is good. I hope you guys can hear me. I am literally speaking into the microphone. So we're gonna make this work how best we can. Seems like I might have to get a boom mic. All right. All right. So welcome to day number two. House rule is the same as yesterday and will be the same house rules all week. For those of you that are new, thank you for joining. Y'all know yesterday was fire. We're finna get into some fire stuff. So I will give you guys right now the opportunity to go get books, go get pens, go get something to drink. It could be water. You know, I'm doing my fruit and veggies fast this week, and water. No soda. Well, I don't drink soda, but no weird artificial juice unless it's natural fruit juice. Yeah, so let me give y'all an update on day number two. After taking an Uber to go to this trading class, because I still did not get the car is still in the shop. So basically what happened is what's the thing called again, Haiti? What's it called?
Coolant.
Yeah, the coolant. So there's a cable that connects the coolant to the engine. That's what's leaking. Weird. How? I don't know. Maybe a mouse went under there. Maybe a raccoon went. I don't know. But I don't know how it got in there. But whatever it was, something happened and it was fine today. So like, why wasn't it leaking the day before? And the car's been parked. So how's it leaking? I don't know either. So anyway, basically,
Daraine, what kind of car is that?
my Mercedes.
Oh, I can tell you that one. Keep going. I'm a mechanic. Keep going. I ain't gonna get in there right now. Keep
So,
going.
for
You
some
want to hear
reason,
something funny, Daraine? You want to hear
that
something funny?
what
When
you got,
you
the
were
same
talking,
thing?
oh man, it's a crazy story. So last night when you were talking about, you and Haiti having the same issue within 24 hours of each other, while I was on the call with you last night, I was actually sitting in the shop with my truck getting a coolant leak fixed that I that I've been dealing with for like the last 2 weeks. I've been in the
Oh
shop.
my
I've been
God.
in like 3 or 4 different shops trying to get it fixed.
Like
They
what's
had to
going
replace my whole
on?
radiator. Then last night they had the water pump. They had to replace the water pump. So
That's crazy.
man,
Thank you.
it's crazy when you deal with these trucks and stuff, man. There's so many parts and components, and man, I thought I'd share that with you because you're not the only one going through it, brother.
Yeah, but I'm like, it was fine the day before. I just got back, not even 3 days. The car was not, no one was driving the car. And it just did a service B before I left to Jamaica. So like, what happened? Like that's the part I can't figure out. What happened? Anyway, I think it's the pollen. I swear to God. It's the pollen because I escaped the
Is it
pollen.
a pollen?
The pollen just it came back. The pollen came back. I don't know, that's the only explanation I have. The pollen came back because
No, you don't, brother. You got the one you said before. Disruption. Intentions disruption.
So anyway, went to this trading class, right? Took an Uber. Trading class was good. I'm definitely gonna be a member of that trading academy. I like what they're doing. The dude that was presenting, he was very confident in what he was doing. So I'm definitely gonna start my trading journey again because I've started it before and I stopped and I'm gonna punch myself in the throat now because I'd probably be 4 years in, knowing a whole lot of stuff that I'm gonna have to relearn now. But you know what? The best time to start was yesterday, but if you didn't start yesterday, the other best time is now. So I recognize that I need to start, and guess what? I'm starting. Now, fast forward today. Homework, homework, homework. Who ran the plays? What happened? Put your hands up. Let me know what's going on. Oh, remember, there's a raise hand button at the bottom of your screen. So just look for raise hand, or if you go to reactions, it's either at raise hand or reactions, and it will like raise your hand and bring you in the queue. All right. So how did the homework go? Did you do the assignments? Talk to me what happened, boss lady. Over to you. Let's get this show popping.
All right, I see Shell, she's up. Shell, Shelly.
Yeah, but mine is not about the homework because I did that homework before on the last challenge because I'm already in both the university and I'm in the connoisseur. And if any of you new people are not in there, it's wonderful. You need to get in. So my question is something separate. Do you want me to wait or you want me to go on?
No. Let me have it. Let's go.
Okay. So my question is, I asked you about this right before we started this challenge, but I just finally got the paperwork for my what my client who is my sister. And it's like the paperwork that she received from the court. It's not from the court, it's from an attorney's office. But remember, I told you she never got served. So it looks like it's just saying cause number and who is from Calvary and assignee Synchrony Bank against her, and it says her name. And then it gives her like 10 pages of all of these things, information they're trying to collect on her, I guess, to pay it. And it says she has 30 days to submit this information. And I guess I'm confused about if they've already made a decision because it went to court without her ever being served. And I looked up, I'm in Houston, Texas. So I looked up the different ways they can serve you. That never happened. They never served her by certification, by mail with a return receipt or anything. She never got served. So y'all went to court some kind of way and said that she was served or submitted some paperwork that she was served. No one at her house signed for anything because the person that is at her house when she's not there is mentally ill. They can't answer the door and sign anything. So I'm trying to figure out where do I go from there to help her with this because this paperwork is saying to fill it out to answer the questions for her to be able to start paying the debt. And I'm like, I'm not giving them any of this information. It's, ask for her date of birth, social security, if you have a business address, personal information, bank accounts, all of that stuff that they're asking to inquire to basically for her to pay a debt. But I'm like, that shouldn't be when you were never served. So I'm trying to figure out what I don't even see which court that you went to. You would have to either call the law firm.
You don't even know what court she got served in?
It doesn't even say it. It just says J.Y. Jenkins and Young PC. And it says and then it tells you the law firm that it is. Jenkins and Young service at jwlawfirm.com. So it doesn't say. I'm confused about this. I'm like, where do you go to even say? But it's definitely looks like the paperwork, plaintiff's discovery in aid of judgment. I'm like, I'm confused.
So this is how I would go about it. First, I'm going to write the law office, right? This is how other people may go at it differently, but this is how I would go about it. I'm going to write a letter to the attorney that contacted me, right? First of all, I'm going to talk about lack of service, right? Proper service was not done. So that's my foundation right there. And I'm going to tell them that I'm going to put in a motion. Well, before I even tell them about the motion, I'm going to request a few things. First of all, I'm gonna call them out. I'm going to speak about lack of service. Proper service was not done, and no one competent signed for or received any summons. Therefore, the judgment that they got is a voidable judgment. Now, I'm going to request 1 second, guys. 1 second. 1 second. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write them. I'm going to talk about the judgment being voidable or put in a motion to set aside the judgment based on the fact that proper due process was not done. I was not served. The person that was supposed to be served was not served, and there's no proof. So I'm going to be requesting proof of service. One, I'll also ask for the name of the court that the summons was filed in. I'm going to also question jurisdiction.
Okay.
Right? That whatever court that gave that default judgment does not have jurisdiction. Why? Because I wasn't served.
Okay.
And next thing I'm going to ask is, I'm going to find out from that law office if they are, sorry, I'm going to use, if they ordinarily participate in fraudulent activities, because that's what it is. You're going to come after me about a judgment knowingly or knowing that I was not served.
Right.
You could find out if I was served. And the court, does the court even have proper jurisdiction to grant that judgment?
Right.
Or that summary judgment? So these are the things that I would be questioning. And I'm going to direct all of that to the law firm, and I'm going to request all of that. And then now, if I'm not able to get that, I'm going to do a countersuit. So you know the name of the creditor, right?
Yes, it's on here.
Creditor. So
Yes.
now I would do a countersuit against that creditor.
Okay. Okay.
That's how I would go about it.
Yes, it's on here. Okay, that's what I wanted to know. Thank you so much. Y'all better join the university and connoisseur.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do some more research on this. And when we hit connoisseur class next Tuesday, we're gonna go into a much deeper strategy. But off the top of my head, that's what I can think about right now. So I just want you to write those points down. So on Tuesday, when we hit the connoisseur, we can go more into it, and then we put a countersuit strategy together.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
Awesome sauce. I like that one. You gave my brain a little bit to think about just now. I was like, this one sounds interesting. All right. Boss lady, back to you. I could have sworn I saw one hand up just now.
Oh, everybody put their hands down. They're being shy today. I guess
Yeah,
nobody
so
did their homework. Okay. Mickey. I actually, what? What?
His name is Mikey, Eddie. His
It
name
is Mikey. You always say that. I call him Mickey. Mickey.
Mickey Wagwan.
AD, you destroy my name again. Oh,
I know. I'm gonna get it together. Cause it spelled like Mickey Mouse.
Mikey. Only Daraine know Mike. Anyway, how everybody doing? How you doing,
We're
Daraine?
good.
Yo, I'm doing good, bro.
Yeah, I got a quick thing, Daraine. When a debt collector send you a dunning letter or the first notice telling you that you owe the debt, and you know the first stage, right? And you send them the notice of validation, pursuant to 1006.34C, right? And they send you a bill. Remember now, it's not on the credit report yet. And they send you a bill with all these crap. Tell me if this is how I responded to that, because I write them again and I'm telling them proper validation was not done. Refusal to pay, cease and desist. Would that be a good approach?
Proper validation was not done pursuant to 12 CFR.
Yeah, 12 CFR 1006.34C.
Correct.
And then that's what I sent them, right? But they send back a bill.
Yes, therefore, you're attempting to collect an invalid debt.
Right. So now,
So,
okay.
I finish up the next part now. You have the next part. Finish up.
Right. So now remember that it's not on the credit report yet.
That's fine. That's still fine.
Okay. So what tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong. Right. So now I'm telling them that proper validation was not done. This would be like my third letter or second letter. Proper validation was not done.
So
cease and desist, refusal to pay. Would that be a proper procedure?
Yeah. So how you would actually word it would, this is a formal notice to cease and desist.
Okay.
And is a refusal to pay an invalid debt.
Right. Okay.
So that's how I would do it. I wouldn't say this is a refusal to pay. This is
no. That's my words. That's my words.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna use your letters and stuff like that. So yeah,
so
the proper right.
I'm gonna tell them to cease and desist, right?
Mm-hmm.
Furthermore, this is a refusal to pay an invalid debt. So now, once you invoke the cease and desist, you know they can only come now with 3 possible answers.
3 possible answers. Yep.
Correct.
Yep. Got it.
Is that Mikey? Past the statute of limitations?
No. This debt is not past. This was just sent like 2 weeks ago.
Okay, that's fine.
But there's another one that I'm working on that's past the statute of limitation. And I'm getting papers ready for that one. So I got that one in control.
Statute of limitations letter, right?
Yep, I got that and
perfect.
everything. Yeah.
Okay,
so thank you.
Yep, perfect. You're on the right track, bro. Keep it up.
All right, man. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Don now.
I look down and know I see 6 hands up. Haiti, what just happened?
Good. Everybody's raising their hands. They have to go find their homework and look for it in their book bags. All right, Don now, you're up next, Bo.
All right, Donnell, you're up. Talk to me. What's going on? Donnell going once. Donnell going twice. All right, sold. Haiti, win.
Good evening. Good evening. First of all, I didn't get you said you sent out the email or text about the homework. I didn't get it.
I'm almost positive it was sent out. I'll actually check with Gladys, but it's also in the Facebook group. You didn't see it?
Okay. I gotta go. I'll jump over and take a look for it. All right. So my 2 questions. I remember Daraine, we've been using the late payment charge off letter, and I told you I got the late payments deleted off of 3 accounts, but the charge off is still there, and you said use the accuracy letter now. Now, since when I was reading the accuracy letter, unless I'm reading the wrong one, it's asking for them to delete the whole account. Do we not just want to delete the charge off?
Well, if the account is a charge off already, it also means the account is closed.
Yes,
so you don't want that account.
Right, so you're going to delete it. Okay, that's fine.
You're going to delete the entire account, yeah.
Got you. Okay, cool. Now, I got next question is...
Hold up. See, this is what happened. Y'all get so spoiled. You're not going to tell the entire class that you deleted the late payments from the charge-off. You're not going to.
Well, we covered that already, so that's why I left it. Yes,
no, that was on the university. But remember, this is challenging. There's people that don't know that this thing exists. And you're just skipping past it like it's just another Monday in class. It's not.
You're funny. Yeah, so using the new late payment charge-off deletion letter, guys. Yes, that letter is working like butter. So I used it on 3 separate accounts, and they deleted all the late payments off of each account. Now it's just a charge-off, just a C in there for charge-off. So now I need to go back in and use the accuracy letter, which now basically says you can't do, in order for there to be a charge-off, you also have to be shown a late payment. So that's now we're going to use the accuracy letter to get that charge off deleted or the account deleted.
My guy. Talking like it's just a regular day in class, like, got some payments deleted. Like what?
No, that's right. So the next one is there's an account with First Mark, and they sent the response back, and they're asking for
response to what? Let's go from the beginning. A response to what?
I did I gotta go back in. Let me tell you, I'm gonna tell you what they're asking for, then you're gonna have an idea what I'm trying to the account. But they're asking for the police report for the identity theft. For the identity affidavit for the identity theft.
So is the account
And
legitimately an account that came from identity theft?
correct. I'm trying to think exactly, trying to remember
Okay, so you
exactly.
need to go to identitytheft.gov. You don't need a police report. You can go to
Okay, good.
identitytheft.gov. So if this is a legitimate account that came as a result of an alleged identity theft, all you need to do is go to identitytheft.gov, get the affidavit, put all the accounts there, and submit that with it. Now, make sure you use the identity theft letter, because the identity theft letter complements the identity theft affidavit. They both go together. And then all the other requirements like proof of ID and stuff like that, make sure that is sent in, and all these accounts should be blocked within 4 days. Now, if they are not blocked within 4 days of receipt, then now we move on to phase two. And phase two literally will be applying for stuff, right? Just apply for some stuff.
Okay, actually, Daraine, actually, give me one. I have actually have it right here. What it was, I sent to them in reference to a student loan that the father took out for the son,
Mhm.
and that's what they sent. I can read it to you real quick if you want. But that's what they're asking for. I addressed the student loan, okay,
Mhm.
being on the father's credit report. And the response they sent back was, it says, we understand that you are alleging the loan we service is a product of identity theft or fraud. In order to continue our investigation, we require additional information supporting your allegations. Please send us the following items within 30 days, assuring to the time of investigation and response. And it says the stuff that they're asking for there is the identity theft report.
Mhm. Yeah. So if I remember now. So the father and the son, right?
Correct.
Where they have the son's student loans on the father's report. Okay. The account is not the father's. That's point
Right.
blank, not the father's. So therefore the account is on there and it does not belong to the father. So yes, I would send in that information because it's not his. What is your son is not yours. Like it's not. Some people are gonna say,
And it's funny,
"Oh,
and it's
what is his son?" So what?
right, and it's funny because the second letter they sent they sent two, and the second one they sent, it says current loan details, and where it says the borrower's name, it clearly has the son's name and obviously not the father's. So I'm like yeah, like you telling yourself that it's not the father's.
Yeah, so this is how you get them now. So now it's time to set them up. You're going in for the kill now, right?
Okay.
So setting them up would be, I'm going to give them what they asked for. So I'm going to file the identity theft report. So just go on identitytheft.gov, file the report, list the account there, right? It's going to generate the affidavit. Now you're going to send in that affidavit now to substantiate what you're saying. If it's not removed after that, now let's talk about damages. We're going to talk about him applying for a credit card or just a few items, right? So that we can
Gotcha.
establish damages and claims. And then now you literally go in for a lawsuit because now you would have had everything lined up correctly to get it done. You gave them the opportunity, you initiated the dispute, you identified the inaccurate information or the account that did not belong to them. They requested documentation, you presented the documentation. So you're setting them up now so that you can go in for the kill.
Got you. Got it. Thank you.
Awesome sauce.
All right, Samsung SM. Somebody didn't put their names.
All right, we got a Samsung SMX210 in the building. Samsung going once.
Hello,
I
can
heard.
y'all hear me?
Yep, loud and clear, Samsung. What's going
I'm
on?
sorry, I'm sorry. I thought my name was up there. Um,
Talk to me. What
my
you got?
question is, I have two questions.
Hmm.
I signed up for a credit repair from a company, and now I'm receiving letters saying I'm a victim of human trafficking and a victim of
Oh
identity theft.
my God, they did a credit sweep on you. I've spoken about this thing so much. Ah, Jesus Christ. That I swear to God. So, guys, please be very careful with some of these credit repair companies. They don't know how to dispute. They don't know the dispute process. They heard somebody talk about credit sweep online. They signed up. They say, oh, just run everything as human trafficking and identity theft. And it seems like that's what they did to you.
Yes.
So
So how
now,
do I go about fixing that?
well, first of all, we need to make sure that there's nothing on your report. So you need to call in to the agencies, right? And when you call into the agencies, you need to find out if there is any identity theft or human trafficking notation on your credit report.
It is. I went in and I looked. It is.
It's there?
Yes.
Holy crap. So now you're going to have to make an affidavit. You make an affidavit and submit that affidavit, letting them know that you are not a victim of human trafficking. These are the things that will have the feds show up at your door. What do you mean you're a victim of human trafficking? Like, people don't understand that the agencies have an obligation to send information like this to the feds. And there will be people, whether from the CFPB, from the FTC, or from the FBI, that will show up at your door to take statements and find out how were you a victim of sex trafficking or human trafficking. Guys, that's a federal offense. It's not no little misdemeanor slap on the wrist. This is serious stuff. So you're going to write an affidavit to the agencies, let them know that you are not a victim of identity theft, of human trafficking, and that you had hired someone, you don't have to drop no name or company name, to fix your credit, and this is the false information you received. So basically, you're sending an identity theft to get that human trafficking thing removed from your profile. That's the first step. And
Okay.
then your second step would be how they respond to that.
Okay. Do I have grounds to sue the credit repair company for this?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And
That's false information.
right. So another question, my fiance, they also fixed his credit, and now he's also victims, and also his Equifax and Experian is not even reporting a score at all. Like, they wiped his credit, like completely wiped. It's not reporting anything.
So we're gonna have to write them again. Jesus. I'm just taking a moment here. Like, guys, please be mindful of who you're hiring. Just please be mindful. Like, that's why I'm an advocate of learning this stuff yourself. So we're gonna need a very similar letter to yours for the husband, and then now we're gonna have the husband sending those letters, sending proof of identity, proof of mailing, and the affidavit gotta be good. If I wouldn't say sending a police report yet, because they didn't ask, but what we're gonna start off with is the affidavit addressing the fact that if just taking the place of your fiance right now, I am not a victim of human trafficking. I had hired a consulting company, credit repair company, whatever, to fix my credit. And I got these notices in the mail that alleges that I'm a victim of identity theft. I, Daraine Delevante, of sound body and mind, sound body and mind, explicitly states I am not a victim of human trafficking. It was a false report generated by a crooked company who had no idea what they were doing. So I'm here to set the record straight. One,
Okay.
delete any reference to human trafficking from my consumer reports or any flags on my consumer report regarding human trafficking. I am not a victim. Two, did it mention if they use identity theft as well, or just human
Yes.
trafficking?
Yes. And they just did another identity FTC report on him last week.
All right, you gotta call that company and tell them to stop the bullshit. Like, tell them to stop. Like, tell them to stop working on your credit report. You no longer need their services. Like, just stop it right there. Just you need to end this stuff right now because this could
Okay.
get pretty messy.
Okay.
This could get really, really messy. And then the fact that you're here, I want you to do it the right way. So tonight I may drop the link for some of you so you can apply and see what it's like inside the university. I may drop this link tonight, but I want you to learn how to do it the right way so you do not become a victim of somebody else's mistake and somebody else's lack of knowledge.
Okay.
Guys, this is a huge deal. The CFPB sent out an email, and in the email, the CFPB said this: if there's any credit repair organization that is using consumers' information and filing false human trafficking reports, the CFPB was asking for these companies' names.
Okay.
So,
They
ladies and
sent complaints. We went and looked at the CFPB. They sent complaints to them, lying to them, saying we was both victims of identity theft, and to the CFPB also.
correct. They're gonna send it to the CFPB, but it's like they're sending it on behalf of you. So it looks like you're the
Right.
one sending it. It's not showing that we're the one sending it. That's not how it looks. Look. So you need to get ahead of this now before this becomes a real damage to your consumer report and your fiance's report. So I
Okay.
hope you're here to learn this thing the right way. And
I
when
am.
I give you guys the opportunity to come on board so you can take control of your credit. And this is what happens to a lot of people, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, a person that does not know their rights have no rights. And while while we use the premise of, I don't have enough time and all of this stuff, guys, I promise you, ain't nobody got your best interest more than you. And some of these companies, these people are not legit. Don't get me wrong, there are like I have friends with great integrity and they practice great business. But at the same time, you just got somebody out there hustling for a quick buck. And with this whole credit suite becoming the new wave, everybody's jumping on it. Like the amount of identity theft and human trafficking reports that the CFPB got is the highest in history ever recorded.
Wow.
Yeah, that's all they are doing because you're gonna see tonight. We're gonna go over these dispute strategies. You can determine after tonight's class, you can determine whether you're going to join the university or not. For everybody here, tonight's class will be your deciding factor because you're gonna see how I break down the dispute process, what dispute to send out, why you're gonna understand the concept behind why you dispute what and why you use certain laws. And if you don't, let me know so we can refund you your money.
Okay. So the first step, we both just do the
Write
affidavit.
that affidavit, yeah.
Okay.
And if you get the affidavit done before Friday, please raise your hand again and just read it for me, okay? Because I want to start you off in the right direction. Whether you join the program or not, I would love to start you off in the right direction.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Oh, by the way, can you DM me the name of the company? I don't want you to put it out there, but just tell me the name of the company. Because if somebody
where do I DM to?
So if you look in the chat, you're gonna see you can just click on my name and then you send me a message directly.
Okay.
From somebody.
I definitely will.
I wanted her to say it out loud so bad. I was dying for it.
No, we ain't
I'm dying over here.
I know some of y'all was waiting.
It's crazy because she's popular on Facebook. That's where I found her at, and she's got a lot of people.
That's funny.
I know some of y'all was waiting. Some of
I
y'all
was dying.
Terrible.
I was
like some of y'all was like, who is it?
Terrible.
I know y'all was waiting. No, we're not
you know I was. You know.
I know y'all was waiting. I know y'all was.
So is there a way with his credit being complete with Equifax and Experian not showing no scores at all?
Yeah, so basically what we're doing is the affidavit, we're going to let them know that the information that was sent before is inaccurate information. You hired a company and the company did false reporting. So basically, we're asking them to reinstate the profile itself.
Okay.
So that's exactly what we're going to ask for. That's why I want when you put this letter together, when you put this this affidavit together, that you go over it. So if there's any modifications, I can give you those modifications in class. But like I said, I highly recommend that you join the university so I can really coach you on this thing. But hey, it's no pressure over here because I don't do pressure sales. I'm just letting you know that this is a safe place for you to come and learn. And as you can see, we do things the right way and we get results.
Okay.
All right?
All right. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Daraine, can she just screenshot it and just do like a positive shout out to my credit repair company? They've been working so hard and put it on the classroom. Just positive.
No.
I mean, I can say the name if y'all want me to.
Listen, for the record, Daraine has no part in this. Daraine cannot force you to say anything, but if you do decide to say something, Daraine is not responsible for what you say because you're your own grown person. All right.
Daryl, what's the name of that company?
Hold on, let me look it
up. Y'all are a bunch of
you. Thank you, whoever said thank you. I know it wasn't just me.
Huh?
I knew I wasn't the only one who wanted to know. Please give the name of that company.
We're gonna take this to the Facebook group. Y'all are a bunch of mix-ups. No.
The Facebook group, her name on Facebook is Sierra Blake, and her Facebook group is Credit with Sierra.
You did not hear that here. Just saying. All right.
She said she was very popular. She said he was very popular, and I want to tell her Diddy was very popular too, right? And he going down.
Oh my. Y'all about to start some mix up. Haiti, back to you.
All right. High tide. High tide.
High tide. That's my friend in Missouri. Where's my Missouri friend at?
Yeah, what up, big dog?
What's going on?
How you doing, Miss Haiti? So no cap. I wasn't even trying to get into the credit space. I was just trying to fix my credit for my business and to fund my business. And I ended up getting 2 clients. So
Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah. I'm still not trying to get into that. I'm about to fix their credit. I use my mom as a guinea pig, and of course, you know my story. I came from a 465, and in like 7 months, I fixed my credit and got to a 715.
Do you know that there's power in serving other people? And do you know that there's power in solving other people's problems?
Yeah.
See,
I learned that from you.
See, it may not be what you expect or what you think, but sometimes the Lord has a good way of throwing things in your hand because you have the bandwidth, the fortitude, and the capabilities to get it done. So
With that,
I would highly recommend do not turn away your blessing because oftentimes when our gifts are revealed, it's not in the packaging that we're expecting it.
You always dropping some bars.
Literally, you could be the person that gets your state right. You could be the person that get Missouri right. You could be.
Yeah, I want to pass out like some business credit cards where the disaster happened on the north side. But I just felt like I was there doing community work, like helping remove tree branches and stuff. But I just felt like that'll be preying on like people's downfall.
It's not preying on people's downfall. Every event creates an opportunity. The question is, are you going to be the one to be there to help? Because remember, helping people also has the inverse reaction. You help enough people will help you. So I wouldn't want you to look at it like that. It's a service for if they need it. So then now you can start looking into state laws that says that if a person is affected by natural disaster, maybe there's a consumer law now that's specific to Missouri only, where these victims can get relief from creditors from the like this is stuff people would want to know.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Just like when COVID happened and there wasn't supposed to be any late payment because of how the economy slowed down. And there was actually laws that got modified to put into place that states that if you had lines of credit loans or whatever during this period, you're not supposed to get a late payment. Like these laws were out. So there could be statutes in the Missouri state laws or even federal laws that grant relief the same way it does for human trafficking, the same way it does for victims of identity theft. There could be laws that you could bring to light that these people never knew existed that could help them to lower their interest rate, pause certain payments. You just never know once you start looking, bro.
So I should like deep dive, go down through that rabbit hole.
I think you should step into your purpose, yes.
I don't want that to be my purpose though. Oh my.
When David was selected to be king, God never told him, hey, bro, go fight this lion, go fight this bear, and then you're going to go fight a giant and become king. I'm just saying, bro, like the path is never just laid out like, it's not.
I'm running from the bears, the lions, the
right? So you can start there. It's not something that you want to pursue. You have the skill. You'll be surprised once you start, bro. So I'd say start where you are now. Help your mom, help the two persons that signed up with you. And then after that, see how it feels when these people tell you how much you've changed your life. It's an experience that each and every one of us has to go through. And I think you'll see what I mean once you go through it.
Yeah, that's where the clients are coming from. I helped my mom. I just got her in the 744.
Your mama told everybody.
Yeah, she started telling people, and they came to me.
Wait until your mom goes to church and she tells the whole congregation.
You can build your whole business off of word of mouth, man. Go on.
I'm just saying. But you'll see, High Tide. You'll see what I'm talking about.
So I know I should know the answer to this, but with this new client, how do I know which inquiries to remove and which ones not to remove? Like, how do I know which ones are
active? Look at the profile, right? You're gonna see the inquiries at the top. The inquiries are gonna be at the top. Once you look at the profile, you can see what inquiries are tied to open accounts. So let's use an example. Let's say that there's 8 inquiries on there, right? But out of the 8 inquiries, you see Capital One, Wells Fargo, Bank of America. And these are the only accounts that the person has that's open. That means the other 5, there's no open account tied to it. You can get those 5 deleted because those are not tied to open accounts. So if the inquiry has a corresponding open account, you want to leave that one alone. But any inquiry not tied to an open account, then now it's fair game. You can go and get those ones deleted using the 24-hour script.
Okay, and so I have another question. The other person have an open student loan on their account, and they inform me that the student loan, what is called the
Servicer,
the advantage, the ED advantage. I think that's the name. They told them that they won't be reporting on their report until the student loan is complete, and they still have a semester of school.
So is the account on the credit report or not?
It's on there.
It's on there.
But it's in good standing.
It's in good standings?
Yes.
Yeah, leave it alone then. Because if it's in good standings, we're not gonna mess with it. If it was not in good standings, then no, we'd have a problem. But once the account is in good standing, it adds to the mixture of the credit, it adds to the age, it adds to the payment history. So all those are working for the client right now. So I would not take it off, because if you do, your credit score is gonna drop.
So, but they're allowed to report it even though they haven't received all of their financial aid.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's not that they're allowed to report it. They can report it. However, if you do not want the student loan account reported, you also can take it off. But I'm letting you know that if you decide to take it off, the implications it will have on the person's credit score, it will drop.
Okay.
So if it's positive, I don't mess with it because that's adding to. But if it was negative, it's fair game. Take it off because the credit score already dropped.
And to the audience listening, if y'all haven't joined this university, I'm telling y'all it's where it's at. I got stuff done off of just free YouTube, but once I joined, I was really able to get stuff off.
Yes, sir.
And I'm doing lawsuits.
Oh, you left that part out. Let's go.
Yeah.
Drop some fire in the chat, man. Drop some fire in the chat. Oh,
Have a blessed day.
Drop the link so anyone can just check it out right now, just to see what's going on, what we do over here when you get some time. All right, I'm gonna pass the mic back over to you. Thank you very much, High Tide. Back to you, boss lady.
Donnell's up. He's back.
Donnell, my guy, you're back. I was wondering where you were.
Yeah, I couldn't figure out how to get it loose. I was trying to, it wouldn't do it. I was like, well, I'll try again. My question to you actually is two questions.
That's
You
right.
say about the invalid debt, and you say, well, you can't do this, you can't do this because it's an invalid debt.
Mhm.
But now, how do I improve this invalid debt? Because they did not send me anything, or they have no proof. You kind of get where I'm stuck at with?
That is an amazing question. So let's unravel this mystery.
Let's go.
When it comes to an alleged debt, ladies and gentlemen, the debt has to be validated. If a debt is not validated, the debt is invalid. Meaning, if a debt collector says, Daraine, you owe this, all right, cool. Daraine's going to send out a notice for validations of debt. A notice for validations of debt requires a debt collector to show proof that one, they own the debt, two, they have the legal right to collect, and that the debt is validated with substantiated proof that it is viable for them to collect it. If they cannot prove any of that, what they're attempting to collect is an invalid debt. An invalid debt is inaccurate information, because if the debt is invalid and they're saying that you owe it, but they don't have no legal right to collect, everything about it is fraud. Everything about it is erroneous. Everything about it, there's no substance, there's no validity to what they're attempting to collect. Therefore, the law says that a debt collector cannot collect on an invalid debt. The information must be accurate. And we see this in case law. What's the case law? No, it's gonna bother me. I need to find that case law. Anyone has the case law library or the case law resources up?
Daraine, what is that one? You trying to find out the case law for what?
Invalidated debt. They are debt
reporting a debt to a CRO without validating it.
Correct.
Samuel Ede versus Midland. That's one.
Midland. Okay. What's the other one? There's another one.
There's another one.
It's on Mikey. It's in your case law resource. Go to case law resource and scroll down, and you're gonna see it's the same one that has the case law for emotional damages.
Okay.
Scroll down. It would be like fourth from the bottom.
Daraine, are you talking about Purnell versus Arrow Financial?
Not that one.
Or Johnson versus LVMV something?
Not that one. That's reporting an alleged debt. collection. Scroll down to the bottom of case law resources. It's there.
Okay, so see, there's another one where the CFPB takes action against a debt collector for pursuing unvalidated debt.
Yes, that one, Mikey. Who?
Yep.
What's the case law?
CFPB takes action against a debt collector for pursuing unvalidated debt.
Who's the debt collector? That CFPB versus.
It didn't. It just say. I just took this note down from you. CFPB takes action against a debt collector for pursuing an unvalidated debt.
Okay.
So I don't know who was
all right,
it.
I'll go back over the case law resources. So the point that I'm making here, Donald, is that a debt collector cannot collect an invalid debt. And the only way for a debt to be valid, they must prove that they have legal right to collect on it.
Okay.
So when you send a validation notice and they ignore you and 30 days pass, the debt is invalid. When you send out a validation notice and they sent you stuff other than the validation information, the debt is also invalid. So if they report it, it's a form of collection which makes the collection of it, it's just illegal. They can't collect on it. And then you can counter sue. So now you can sue that debt collector for one, reporting inaccurate information to your consumer report, and two, reporting information that it knows that is inaccurate, and three, attempting to collect on an invalid debt.
Yeah, Daraine, it's Hinkle versus Midland Management.
Who?
Hinkle versus.
Yes. There we go.
Place
Yep,
a debt
there
in
we
the
go.
CRA
Thank you, Mikey.
without properly verifying the debt. Yep.
Here we go. Hinkle versus Midland. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right.
Like these are just some of the things that you like in the connoisseur program, guys. Like we really take this stuff to another level. It's not just your average or regular consumer law dispute. We're throwing in case laws in there, and we're dissecting case laws, and we're using the excerpt of these cases themselves to format our defense. Like it's some next level stuff. All right, boss lady, back to you.
All right, Tandeezy, you're up. I'm seeing
Tandeezy,
hands go up, people
welcome.
hands go down.
Hi. I am new. Thank you so much for allowing me to be in this class. I have a few questions. I've been working on my credit, and I did my homework last night, so I wrote it down. Let's see. I have just maybe a lot of closed accounts on my credit report. I don't have too much. I mean, that's
closed positive.
They're paid and closed because I paid them. They're closed out and I just paid them.
So there's no negative thing attached to it, like a late payment or charge off or anything like that.
I see. The only thing is the late payments. Is all of them just say paid, closed, and then I have the late payments that when they were late on those accounts, and that's pretty much all I have, other than my names and addresses that I need to delete. So I was just asking for those ones, with the paid, closed, late accounts. Do I treat that like a late payment, or do I try to delete the whole thing?
All right, so before we even get to that, let's talk personal information, right?
Okay.
Were you able to call into the consumer reporting agencies to get the names corrected, the addresses corrected, and stuff like that? Meaning outdated information, old names, variations a name, old addresses, variations. Like, did you get those deleted already?
I did not call in today.
All right,
and no excuses. The only reason why I didn't, because I wasn't sure yesterday if you were saying to call in and tell them or mail in and tell them. So that was my next question.
Okay, so you want to call in first.
Okay.
The call is super easy. That's the fastest way we get results. Like if, let's say, for example, you have, let's say, 15 different addresses, like literally over the phone, like you can get all 15 addresses deleted from your report. The script is the fastest method we have. Now, if you do the script and let's say that they are being stupid and they're not responsive, then no, we can go an additional round to send out a letter. But before we get to any letter, sometimes you can get all of those stuff deleted over the phone. So you didn't even have to send out a letter.
Okay. And then the script is that in any of the books?
The script should be in the homework documents. It's the 24-hour inquiry deletion guide, the personal information one, and then the late payment script. Those three are given with the homework documents. It should be in the Facebook group.
Okay. Okay, so personal information and then those paid closed accounts, right?
Okay. Now, when it comes to the late payment, so I'm going to assume that you're not a part of the university yet.
Not
right?
yet, no sir.
There's a R1 late payment letter. It's called round one late payment, right? In the university, you'll be able to find it in the search bar. The R1 round one late payment letter that gets sent out to the CRAs. You're going to see different types of letters, but the letters tell you where they should go. It's going to say R1 late payment sent to CRA, so that's TransUnion Equifax Experian, and you're going to see round one late payment sent to creditor. That means you're going to send that now to whatever creditor it was that marked that account as late.
Okay, last question.
You're sending out 4 letters.
4 letters?
One for each consumer reporting agency that goes directly to the CRA, and then one to the creditor.
Okay. Okay. So sorry, y'all, 2 more questions. So the ones that are positive, but they're late payments, keep those on my report, right?
If they're
But
positive,
they're closed.
No. So once your account has a late payment on it, we're deleting the late payment. We're not deleting the account. You can remove the late payment without deleting the account. So that's what we're going to go for. Deletion of the late payment. We're not deleting the account, just the late payment.
Okay, but if they're negative, we want to delete it, right? As long as it's closed.
If it's closed and it says like charge off or collection, then yes, we want those deleted. But if it's just a late payment, that's something we can take off without losing the account.
Okay, I definitely will be joining the university. I'm so excited. Thank you guys so much.
You're very welcome.
Welcome. Woo-woo.
Nice.
All right, boss lady, back to you.
Well, no one else had their hands up, and it's officially 8 o'clock.
All right, so it is dispute time, right on time. So, well, Tandeezy, you brought it right up to the 8 o'clock mark. It's time to switch over now to lecture. Let me break down this dispute. Like, guys, I'm telling you, write the stuff, but the stuff I'm going to go over right now, you want to write this stuff down. All right. So let me switch over right here. Let me get everything going. Right, audio check, audio check. How is my audio? We still good?
Good.
Clear.
Great.
Perfect.
Good.
So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to day 2, day number 2. All right. And I just thought about it. I have officially not ate in 48 hours. Wow. Anyway, so day 2, taking back your power with consumer law. So the topic of discussion is how to delete negative items and reclaim control of your credit. Now, the dispute process, ladies and gentlemen, this is the sauce, this is the moolah, this is the nacho, this is the oxtail and the gravy. I'm not talking about food. I don't want to talk about food. This is the fruits, ladies and gentlemen, this is the fruits that you're going to consume to make it all work. And what the dispute process is, the dispute process is what gets you the results. All right? The dispute process is what gives you the results. So the first thing we want to do when we have a consumer report, whether it's yours or your client, we want to what? Identify inaccuracies. Why do we want to, can anyone tell me why identifying inaccuracies is so important?
Because the credit reporting agencies have a grave responsibility to report accurate information.
Right on point. So if the information on my report is not accurate, how can that affect me as a consumer?
In a number of ways.
Right?
It prevents you from getting good credit. It can make you cause anxiety.
Yep.
It can have you have sleep at night, be depressed.
It can attack your character, your general mode of living, all of that.
All right. Now, what does that mean for the average person? It means that you're going to pay higher interest rate. It means that you could be subjected to subprime lending. It means that if you're in a bad area and you want to move up, you can't move because you can't get a house, you can't get an apartment. It means that if your vehicle, like mine, has a leak, and then the transmission goes and then the whole vehicle stops working, you can't get an auto loan. Or if you do, we're going to have somebody like Santander who comes in and gives you a 19.9% interest rate. Like, it's just ridiculous. Like, these are the repercussions of bad credit. So when you identify inaccurate information, remember how the credit report works. The credit reports works like this, right? It works like this. So if negative information equals bad credit rating. Right? Positive information is equal to good credit rating. Now, when we look at the rating, guys, this is subprime. And this is where you find your 5% or below. Like, that's literally, and all of this has to do with information. So the leading inaccurate information is vitally important. So I want you to look at it this way. Let's say that there's a Capital One charge off on your account, but you never opened a Capital One account. That's inaccurate information. And a charge off, which is a negative account on your credit, can drop your credit anywhere from 50 to 150 points. That's a lot of points, especially for an account that does not belong to you, right? So identifying inaccuracies is very, very important. One of the most common inaccuracies that we find is personal information, right? And with personal information now, this is like your names, your addresses, phone number, email address. Like you'll see address on there from when you were 7 years old, and you're like, wait, I don't even live in Minnesota no more. Like, how is this address still there? It's 15 years later, 20 years later, and it still says I live in Minnesota. No, I don't. That's outdated information. That information needs to be deleted. Right? Mismatched names, addresses, and guys, be wary. If there are names on your credit report, or if there's addresses on your credit report that you do not recognize, you need to get it deleted immediately and freeze your credit report. Can anyone tell me why?
Because you may be a victim of identity theft.
You may be a victim of identity theft. Someone has your information, and chances are, if you see a name or an address that you don't recognize, 9 times out of 10, there's an account or accounts on your profile that you do not know as well. You should be checking your reports maybe once a week, bi-weekly, or at a minimum, guys, once a month. With the way technology is right now and how easy it is to breach a company and steal information, you gotta be on top of your game. That's why you keep them credit reports frozen, all right? So we talk about outdated accounts, duplicate accounts, accounts that don't belong to you. Maybe you're a senior, maybe you're a junior, your father is a senior. Maybe you're a senior, your kid is a junior, and that information gets mixed up together. It's called mixed file. Maybe someone has the same name as you and their information got on your, like there's many different ways inaccurate information can get on your credit. Your responsibility is to know what's on your report. And if items are on your report that you do not recognize, it is your responsibility to get that information off. So next we want to move into, so in the university, guys, if I tell you like the amount of dispute letters in the university is ridiculous. It's a lot. Why? Because there's a dispute letter for almost every scenario you will face in credit. Guys, I've been doing this for a while. I've heard all the stories. I've made all the letters. There's even letters I've made that's not even in the university. All right? All the dispute letters are there, they're named, they're labeled, so whatever you want, you can get it. And using the dispute letters and the consumer law dispute AI will be one of the most effective ways you can get items deleted without actually going to the post office. Haley, do me a favor, please. Can you drop the software for me? Drop the link for the software. Now, yeah, drop the link for the university and the software for me. So let's dive into the dispute process. The first thing you want to do when you're disputing your, I want to say disputing your consumer report, but when you are evaluating your consumer report is you want to start with personal information, small wins. We're going to start with personal information, guys. Why? Because a win is a win. Personal information is the easiest thing, S-I-E-S-T, so let's get that part off. It's the easiest thing to get deleted. After that is inquiries. Guys, this thing is done over the phone. Right? This thing is done over the phone. Right? So this is a phone. Right? That's Daraine. Daraine's holding the phone. I'm making a phone call. I'm speaking to Equifax, Experian, TransUnion, right? So it's the easiest thing to get off, guys, using the over the phone method. It's so easy to get off. Now, where you may start getting some pushbacks is late payments, right? Late payments is where you may get some pushbacks if you don't do the steps correctly. So when we're talking about late payments, now we're sending out 4 letters. Right? 4 letters are being sent out. TransUnion's getting 1, Experian's getting 1, Equifax is getting 1. Right? And the creditor. Right? The creditor is getting 1. So you're sending out 4 dispute letters when it comes to accounts. Collections, we're sending out 4 as well. Why are we sending out 4? 1 to TransUnion, 1 to Equifax, 1 to Experian, and we're sending out 1 to the collections agency, right? So these accounts get 4 letters. Accounts get 4 letters. Bankruptcy, now this is a little bit different, and I'll go into bankruptcy later on. So when we talk about late payments, guys, late payments are like, late payment has become so easy to get rid of, it's like ridiculous, right? What do we need to know about late payment? Well, late payment has 4 key requirements, right? So for a late payment, wait, before we even get into a late payment, we're talking about a round 1 dispute. So we're talking about now the dispute process. What law gives you the right to dispute inaccurate information on your credit report? What law gives you that right?
15 USC 1681.
Continue. There's a part that's missing. Ask for a lifeline.
It's 1681 I,
Aye.
Daraine.
1681I. So what gives a consumer the right to dispute? A consumer, so this is Daraine, right? This is Daraine. 15 USC 1681I. This gives Daraine the right. This gives me that power that I need. So this is that power plus, that's the negative side, right? And that's like the voltage, right? That, like, this gives me the power. 1681I gives me the power to dispute negative items on my credit, right? So you see that? I'm sending that out, man. I'm just, and that's going to TransUnion, Equifax, Experian, right? That gives me that power. So what 15 USC 1681I gives me is the right and the power to dispute anything on my credit that I deem to be inaccurate or incomplete. Now, some of you might be saying, well, Daraine, where did you get that information? All right, I'm going to show you. So we're going to take a walk over. Let's take a walk. And we're going to go over to 15 USC 1681I. This is where the dispute gets life. Life is given to your dispute here. And I'm going to show you what words gives us those type of power. So, except as provided in subsection G, if the completeness, right? Oh, where's my thing? So if the completeness or accuracy of any item of information, can anyone tell me what any item of information means?
Everything. Names, addresses, charge-offs,
Phone
everything.
numbers, account information, late payment status. Yep. It doesn't matter what it is. It's any item of information that is contained in your file, right? And this file is at a what? A consumer reporting agency, Experian, TransUnion, Equifax, is disputed. So this means that you have the right to dispute anything that you deemed that is incomplete or inaccurate. Y'all see that? If you believe something is incomplete, if you believe something is inaccurate, and that item of information is contained on your credit report at a consumer reporting agency, the consumer has the right to dispute it. Is everyone seeing that?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So what the consumer, like the law literally tells you what to do. The law says that the consumer notifies. How are you going to notify them? You send out a letter.
Yep, round one.
You send out your round one letter. And you send that directly to what? TransUnion, Equifax, Experian. Right? You send that letter to TransUnion, Equifax, Experian. So indirectly through a reseller. So a reseller now could be a creditor, right? So remember when I said you send out 4 letters when you're talking about accounts? So this now we're talking about the creditor, right? Of such dispute, the agency shall, right here, the agency shall. Guys, we're not begging them to do it, to do an investigation. Like the law commands them to do it. We're not begging them to do it. They have to do an investigation. But because they don't want to do the investigation, what's the result of them not wanting to do the investigation? What do you normally get? Stall letters.
Verified, accurate, reporting correctly.
Stall.
Stall letters.
No response.
Yep.
Right? You will get a verified,
Updated.
verified, accurate, validated. Right? You get
Updated.
You'll get, you're working with a credit repair agency, which is still a stall.
Yes, that is so funny.
You're working with credit repair company. Right? They'll give you all the excuses in the world why they don't want to conduct an investigation. The investigation must be done free of charge. Right? And conducting an investigation, it must be reasonable. So let's dive into this word reasonable. What does reasonable mean? If I just send in a dispute to Experian and Experian sent out to Capital One saying Daraine saying this late payment is not valid, Capital One says the late payment is valid, and then they report that it's accurate, verified, validated. Was that a reasonable investigation?
It was not.
Not at all.
Nope.
So if Daraine sent in a late payment dispute letter and the dispute letter talks about 15 USC 1666B and 15 USC 1681 S27, and it's requesting the information regarding to the alleged late payment, where they should have sent a periodic statement, they should have sent the information from 1637B, proof that it was either mailed or delivered, providing a tracking number and the method to which they delivered it, and that it was proof that it was delivered or that it was delivered less than 21 days before the payment due date, and that the negative information notice was submitted. Is that reasonable procedure?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
That's what's supposed to happen.
Because that's exactly what's supposed to happen. So 9 times out of 10, guys, when you see them respond to you with these phony stall tactics, with these phony replies, with these bootleg investigation and sham investigations, guys, come on. We know that Experian and Equifax got sued for sham investigations. We know they got sued for not investigating consumers' dispute. We know this already. So why do we act surprised when they don't respond? Why do we act surprised when they give us stall letters? Guys, the next step is to sue them. Like, don't act surprised to an action that you know, like if you know your kid steals the cookies from the table and you keep leaving the cookies on the table, why are you surprised to come back and find an empty cookie jar? Why are you surprised? And you know little Tommy or little Billy or little credit baby is going to take out the chocolate chip cookie, go hide underneath the table, eat the cookie out, and then with all the evidence on the hands and mouth, act like they didn't do it. Why are you surprised? Don't be surprised. Take the cookie and put it on top of the fridge. Then they have to figure out a different way to get it, right? So the point that I'm making is, don't be surprised because they did not respond to you. Don't be surprised because you got a stall letter. We know that they're capable of it. We know that they use it. We know that they know that consumers don't got no sense. They already know this. They know that if they replied verified, validated, accurate, the average person will not contest it. Y'all don't believe me. All right. Check how many of you that have clients, right? And when they received a verified, validated, accurate, I want you to think about how they responded to you when you asked them, what did the consumer reporting agency say? They don't know how to respond. There's even credit repair companies that don't know how to respond to a verified, validated, accurate. And this is one of the reasons why they go over to the credit suite method putting fake identity theft and human trafficking notations on people's credit report. Like this, like the law literally tells you what to do. This is the whole dispute formula is written in the law. The whole dispute formula, it is in the law. So if the law tells us what to do, how about we do what the law tells us what to do? Right? So it gives them 30 days to respond, right? The law says 30 days. So it gives them 30 days, right? And they must respond on the date that they receive the notice. The law literally tells you everything that you need to start your dispute process. So, in our dispute process, we have, let's do it over here. We have different responses. So let's write them down over here, right? Stall. When they stall, validation was not done. The result of this is a deletion. When they respond with no response, right, they violated the time period response. This is also equal to a deletion. Right? When they say you're working with a credit repair company, that is also a stall tactic. When they say we need more information, that is also a stall tactic. The more information does not come from you. The more information should be coming from whoever supplied them the information. But they will say that the ID that you sent in was not legible. Even though it is a perfect size, exact copy size of your ID, they'll still come back and say the information that you submitted was not legible. Guys, after your round one dispute, there's no arguing no more, because it is absolutely clear. The CFPB already gave us a formula. You send your round one out. So let's talk about your round one. Your round one dispute identifies inaccuracies. Right? It identifies inaccuracies or incomplete information. Right? Now, your round one generates a response. This response has a time window of 30 days. Now, the 30-day rule applies when the consumer does not send in any additional information regarding the same account. What happens if I'm disputing late payment on an account and then I send in another dispute on the same account? What can that do to my response time?
Give them an extra 15 days.
Correct.
Yep.
Yep. Squad.
So they get an extra 15 days if you send in additional dispute regarding the same account. So if it's in the 30-day cycle, and you send in another dispute regarding the same account, you just gave them an additional 15 days to respond to you. So whenever you have a dispute, you want to let the 30-day cycle run off. If you made a mistake, let the 30-day cycle run off so you can start over. If you send in additional information, they can treat it as additional information and they can extend their investigation another 2 weeks. All right? All right. Now, that's response 1. So the ways now that they can respond to you with your round 1. So from your round 1, the possible responses: no response, verified, validated, accurate, stall. And when I say stall, guys, that includes you're working with a credit repair agent, you're working with a credit repair company. We need more information. Like, those are all different variations of the stall. So I don't really have to list all the stalls that they can give you. The 3 main ones are, oh, and updated. Let's not leave that one out. Right? These are the 4 core responses that you will get. Is there any response that anyone got that does not fit these or any category up here? Is there any other response that does not fall into a category up here that you have received? Let me know so I can write it down.
Yeah.
Eligible. Information is eligible.
That would go on a stall, but I can see where that can be a separate category.
Meets the requirements of the FCRA.
Huh?
Yeah, I got one that said meet the requirements of the FCRA.
What does that mean?
That's a star.
Wow.
It's stall, but it's a vague. We can use vague as its own category.
We're still processing your complaint.
Wait, is that how vague is spelled? Y'all know I got a high school diploma, right? Yeah. This word just looks so off to me. I don't know. Somebody help me out. Help your brother out. How you spell vague?
Is it VAGUE?
That's what I said. Wait, G-U-E.
VAGUE.
You had it right.
Which one comes first, the U or the G? See, that's
The U. VAGUE.
Okay, so your boy had it right before. All right, shout out to Daraine with his high school diploma, VAUGE. All right, right. They'll give you vague responses, guys. There's a lot.
VAGUE. Right?
Yep. VAGUE.
All right. Still shout out to boy Daraine for trying. All right, VAGUE. Okay.
Daraine, what about when they send you a billing statement? When they send you a bill, which one would that fall under?
Are we talking about the CRA or the alleged collection or creditor?
The creditor.
In this case, so you know what? Let me just do this. We're talking a CRA up here. We're going to use the CRA. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Great point. So thank you for letting me identify that. So we'll get vague responses, right? So there's actually a lawsuit on this. Experian versus CFPB and Equifax versus CFPB. There's 2 lawsuits on vague responses. So this actually gives us grounds for us to sue on. Now, let's talk about the no response. The no response is a direct violation of 15 USC 1681I, A1A, right? It's a violation, it's a direct violation of that because the violation is the time response. Right? the verified, validated, accurate, this triggers I6B3. The stall tactics, it goes back to the no response because they still did not verify the item, which makes it a, I'm gonna call this the A1A. Right? So let's do that. Updated. Updated falls under vague because they need to explain what was updated and what changed in the report. Illegible, this is also a stall tactic as well. So you will more than likely use a response that you would use by sending in a different letter, readdressing your round one standing. Right? And then when it's vague, so a vague response will be, we've received your dispute, it's being processed, and the updates are as follows, but you see no updates. Something like your account was updated, but you cannot clearly see what was updated. Vague would be the account is verified, but there's no information as to what was verified or how it was verified. And this is now the power in the I6B3 because this now is where our what? Our round two comes in. So when we send out a request of the description of the procedure used, which is the I6B3, this now prompts a 15-day response. So can you delete a negative item off of a consumer report in 45 days? The answer to that is yes. Can you sue a collection agency, a consumer reporting agency in 45 days, round one, round two, round sue, of disputing an account? The answer to that is yes, as long as you know the correct dispute steps. Is there anything unclear about the dispute flow? This is where you can talk to me. Especially if this is your first time, it may be a little bit confusing. So if you need a further breakdown, you got to let me know now because I really can't read your mind.
I do. I ain't gonna lie. I'm a little lost, Daraine.
All right. Tell me where you're lost. Talk to me.
I think I just gotten lost. I'm tracking as far as round one, right? But then when you start hitting on round two, I think I got a little lost when you got around the round two and the 15-day response. But everything else I'm tracking.
All right. So I figured we would get there. So this is your round one. So where is it? So this round one is generated here. This is what generates your round one. You see that?
Yes, sir.
All right. So now we're going to read. Can you see? Can y'all see the screen or is it small? Is it good?
Yes.
It's good. It's good.
Everybody's
It's
good?
good. Yes.
Okay, great. All right. So this is round one. Round one comes from here, right? This is where our round one gets generated from. This is what gives us the power for round one.
Okay.
Now, from round one, there's a few things working for us. Completeness, accuracy. If you find anything other than accurate information or complete information, you have the right to what? Dispute it. And you can dispute it by notifying TransUnion, Equifax, Experian, and we're going to send that letter off right to the agency. The agency, they have to reinvestigate the dispute, totally free of charge, right? And they must conduct a what? A reasonable reinvestigation, meaning taking all things into consideration regarding the disputes, any additional evidence that you may have sent in, any exhibits, any proof, whatever you sent in, it must be counted and evaluated as a part of the dispute process. And based on their determination, they're going to now determine if the information is inaccurate, right? Now, if the information is inaccurate, and they have to record the status of the dispute. So if it's inaccurate, it has to get deleted because of what the law states. A consumer reporting agency have a responsibility to report accurate, or should I say maximum possible accuracy. So if the information is not accurate, it leads us to paragraph 5, which is the result. So paragraph 5, we're going to scroll down to paragraph 5. Paragraph 5 says this. Treatment of inaccurate or unverifiable information, right? So this is the response now. So paragraph 5 is a response to paragraph 1. Is everybody following?
Yes.
So paragraph 1 is what initiated the dispute. And paragraph 5 tells you how they have to respond to you if the information is inaccurate, incomplete, unverifiable. Yes?
Yes.
So what paragraph 5 is saying is that if after any reinvestigation under paragraph 1, in any information that is disputed by the consumer, an item of information is found to be inaccurate or incomplete or cannot be verified. Now let's go back a little bit to no response. No response takes the category of what? Cannot be verified. Come on. Do I got a witness? Who's following?
Right.
We're tracking.
No response means the item cannot be verified, right?
Right.
Vague, I mean, the stall tactics that they use talking that, oh, we need more information. The item cannot be verified. Remember, they have what? 30 days. So if 30 days pass and the information cannot be verified, the item must be deleted. Right? So when we go back now to paragraph 5, if any item of information disputed by a consumer and an item of information is found to be inaccurate or incomplete or cannot be verified, so where you see, just I want you to think TransUnion, Equifax, Experian shall promptly delete that item of information from the file. So that's what's supposed to happen in the response. So if they cannot verify the information, it has to be deleted. If the information is incomplete, they did not receive sufficient information back from the creditor through the HCDV system, they have to delete it. If the information that does not have procedural standing, like the late payment, and the items to substantiate the late payment, this periodic statement, the information from section 1637B, the notice that it was mailed or delivered and that was done 21 days or less before the payment due date, and the negative information notice. If they don't have all that information, the information is inaccurate. It is incomplete. And that also prompts the deletion on the late payment, right? So the next thing we need to know now is, okay, they responded verified, validated, accurate. What do you do now that they responded verified, validated, accurate? This takes us to paragraph 6, right? And paragraph 6 says that a consumer reporting agency shall provide written notice to a consumer of the results of the reinvestigation. How many of you got a response from the consumer reporting agency after your dispute was concluded, right? In this notice, you're supposed to get that notice no later than 5 business days. So you have to say, when did they send the response? Is it stamped? Is it marked? And the next thing you must think in the back of your mind is, when was the reinvestigation concluded? So now I'm going to ask proof of what? When the investigation was concluded and when they send out the notice, because from conclusion to send out, 5 days. They only got 5 days to do this. So what if they sent it out on the 6th or 7th day? Is that notice valid anymore?
No.
No, it's not.
Valid.
So these are the things that you have to consider when you're talking about. So do you understand why most people don't understand the dispute process? Is because they don't read. And because they don't read, they are going to use these other methods. And I'm telling you guys, these things will come back. You cannot go wrong using their own laws. It's impossible. I'm not a lawyer, guys. I got a high school diploma. High school. Some of y'all got masters. Some of y'all probably got PhDs or double BSNs, all that stuff. And I'm telling you, it is so easy to read. It is. And yes, if I can do it, you can do it too. Absolutely. So they have to send you certain information that is required, right? So they have to send you a statement that the reinvestigation is completed, a consumer report based upon the consumer's file that is revised based on the findings of the investigation, and notice that if requested by the consumer can request the description. So it says a description of the procedure used to determine what the accuracy or completeness. So right here, ladies and gentlemen, where we have verified, validated, accurate, and you see me put I6B3 right here. The I6B3 response is from paragraph 6, section 3. This is the I6B3 because the law says that the consumer can request in writing a description of the procedure used to determine the accuracy and completeness. So if they responded to you verified, validated, accurate, this triggers the I6B3, and once I6B3 is triggered, I7, why my board keep moving? I7 is also triggered, and I7 says, description of the reinvestigation procedure. A consumer reporting agency shall provide to a consumer a description of the procedure, a description referred to in paragraph 6B3 by not later than what? 15 days. And that is where your round 3 response. So your round 2, your round 2 response, it would be within 15 days. So this is where the 15 days come from. Once they reply verified, validated, accurate, and you send out the correct dispute letter, which is the dispute letter we have in the university, that's called the description of the procedure, that letter gives them 15 days to respond, ladies and gentlemen. And this is why we win all our disputes, because we know the law, we know what law to use, when to use it, how to use it, and most importantly, what to request. So by the time we do round 1, round 2, round 3, we're at round 2. So I hope I broke it down for you. Did I break it down?
Yeah, yes, sir, you did. Thank you so much for that. Makes
Okay,
sense.
perfect.
That's
All right,
perfect.
great. So I think I may have deviated a little bit. All right, let's go. So where you see this, ladies and gentlemen, so personal information, late payment, like it's all the same thing, guys. They are all being disputed using the same strategy. The only thing that changes is the type of dispute letter you're sending out, right? So for example, when we just did this, the 15 USC 1681 I dispute template. All right, so why do I preach sending it in the mail and not online? Online, you're sending it into somebody else's database, right? You're sending it into somebody's database. Sure, email, you can print the emails out and stuff like that. But honestly, guys, I'm just old school. I like sending it in the mail because you know what? Once I send it in the mail and I track it, I can print that information out. Can you print your email information out? Absolutely. But how do I know somebody received it? How can I tell? What if they say, oh, it went to spam and we didn't know? It went to junk and we didn't see it. Like, there's just too much room for error when it comes to email, and I don't like it. See, when I send a certified mail green return receipt out, it's going to tell me that somebody got it, somebody signed for it. I do not care what happens to it after that. I honestly don't care what happens to it after that, because I know I sent it in. Notice the agent is notice the principal, notice the principal is notice the agent. I sent this letter in. So whether y'all want to go investigate my dispute or not, I know exactly what to do. Let me drink some of my salt water. Hold on one second. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I do enjoy drinking salt water. It's a great way to hydrate your body. Water by itself does not hydrate your body. When you go to the hospital, did they ever give you plain water to drink? Or they hook you up to a saline bag, plug that right in your arm to hydrate you? Salt water. All right. So we're going to touch on the debt validation now. So Mikey, we're going to go into your realm now. So we're going to go into lesson 2. I spent a long time on lesson 1. Sheesh. All right, we're going to go into lesson 2 now. Debt collection. Now, debt collection varies by individual. Debt collection varies on a lot of different things. All right. Yesterday, I gave you guys a sneak peek of the triage document, right? So when it comes to collection, there's some things that we need to know. I'll just go through like 5 of them. Guys, when you join the university, you'll get the template, everything that you see me showing you guys now that I'm using, I give it to my university students. So y'all don't gotta worry about anything. Y'all will get all the stuff once you're in the university. When it comes to collection, there's a few things we need to know. The first thing we need to know is what type of debt, right? Is it a credit card? Is it an auto loan? Is it a personal loan? Is it verbal? Is it non-verbal? Like, all these things matter, right? What state? Right? We need to know what state you're in or the client's in because of what? Statutes of limitation. The next thing we need to know is when the debt was placed on the credit report, right? Because November 31st, 2021, we had the no parking rule in effect, right? These are some of the things that we need to know. The other thing is, does your state require a debt collector to be licensed or bonded? Meaning, if they have, the debt collector has to be licensed to work in your state, licensed to be worked in your client state. Does your state require their license number to be shown on the document? Are they bonded? These are the things that you need to know, right? Type of debt, statute of limitations. When was the debt placed on the credit report? Are they licensed? Are they bonded? What else? What else is on there? 1, 2, 3, 4. What else can we look at, Daraine? I will explore these for now. All right. Statutes of limitation is extremely important. So right now, I'm going to pick a debt. I'm going to say credit card debt, right? What I want you guys to do right now, I want you to Google, right? Just go on Google and Google the statute of limitation for collecting credit card debt in your state. Just Google it, and then I want you to drop the number for that statute of limitation, and I want everybody to pay attention to the chat. So just go to Google and Google what is the statute of limitation for collecting on a credit card debt in my state. So if you're in Texas, you're going to put Texas 4 years, New York 3 years. And I want everybody to take a look at the chat. And you're going to see that different states have different statute of limitations. I see 2 answers so far. Let me see what happens to the rest. Cali's 4 years. Which other states we got? Ohio is 6. Nebraska 5. 6 years in New Jersey. Anyone else? New York is 3. So the reason why this is important, ladies and gentlemen, because the statute of limitations is not the same for all the states. So if you're in a state like New York or like Texas, where it's 3 years for New York and 4 years for Texas, well, if it's year 5 and a debt collector is attempting to collect a debt, that debt is null and void. That debt is invalid. Why? Because that debt has exceeded the statute of limitations for it to be collected. So these are the things that you need to know with your client. What is validation? Like, why is validation important? Well, I spoke about it earlier. A debt collector cannot collect on an invalid debt. In the case law, Hinkle versus Midland, right? In Hinkle versus Midland, Midland attempted to collect on an invalidated debt. A debt collector cannot collect on an invalidated debt, because in order for them to collect, they must prove that the debt is valid, that they are either the assignee or the legitimate owner of the debt, assignment and proof of the contract, prove that they have actual legal standing to collect. Like, there's a lot of things that must be proven. And if these things aren't being proven, they cannot collect the debt. However, if you don't know as the consumer that they should do these things, you think they're going to tell you that they should provide all of this information? They're not. So whose responsibility is it to know the law? Whose responsibility is it?
Ours.
Ours, because
Yeah. You got to know your stuff.
So just like if the debt is expired, but they aren't actively seeking it, we can still have it just removed?
Ah, very good question. So what gives us the right to do it? Well, there's 2 case laws. There's a case law called Chauncey versus Bank of America and Johnson versus LV&V Funding. Reporting a negative item to a debt collector is a form of collection. If the debt has passed the statute of limitations, they cannot legally collect on the debt. Therefore, it also bars them from reporting. Why? Because reporting of a debt to a consumer reporting agency is a form of collection.
That's really good to know. Thank you.
You're welcome. And if you really want to be spicy with it, you can sue them too on a round 2. So let's say that you send out a round 1 statute of limitations letter, right? And they did not remove the negative item from your credit. You can literally go and sue them now for statute of limitation violation, attempting to collect on an invalidated debt, on a debt that has legally passed the statute of limitation. There is no winning that. They cannot win it, because we're going to use case law like Johnson versus LV&V Funding or a Chauncey versus Bank of America to substantiate your action.
And the time starts 21 days after the last payment or the last reported?
No. So the statute of limitation starts after the date of last delinquency. So whenever not last, first delinquency. So whenever the account went negative, so let's say that I decided I'm gonna stop paying this Capital One account, right? I'm gonna stop paying it this month. And we're in what? May. And so if I never make another payment, the statute of limitation starts next month. So May in 3 years, let's say I'm in the state of New York, May of 3 years, May of we're in what, 2025, May of 2028, right? I would hit my 3-year mark and the statute of limitations on that debt is sealed. No one can legally collect on that debt anymore. So if the item is still reported on my credit report, now I can use my debt collection strategies to one, have them do a settlement with me, get a payout, get the item deleted from my credit.
Is this just for like debt collection accounts, or can we use that for like charge-offs and anything like that too?
The only way we can use it for a charge-off is if they have the debt collection notation beside it. So we would treat the charge-off as a collection because they put a collection beside it. Even though it's not supposed to be there, but it can work in your favor if it is, because they reported it as a collection. So I can use debt collection laws.
Okay, so Daraine, you said that it was from the day that it was open or the day that you made the last
The day that I stopped paying. So if I stop making payments in May, 3 years from now in May is when the statute of limitations is up.
Okay, also, so like what if you already paid it in the settlement and they still reporting it? Like, how do you get that off?
Say that again.
So say if you paid the debt collector, right? It says like the status is paid in settlement, but they still reporting it. Like, what do you do?
Well, if I send them a cease and desist, what are the options that they have?
To either to take it off or sue you.
And it's because it's paid, they can't sue me. So what's that?
You gotta take it off.
Right, and if they don't, what does that give me the right to do now?
So I can sue them too.
See, you just answered your own question.
Appreciate you, big dog.
You're welcome. All right. So like debt collection is fun, guys. Like it's really, really fun. Once you get the hang of it. So we spoke about spotting unverifiable information, inaccurate information, information that does not belong to you. So homework, ladies and gentlemen, homework. Make sure you're getting your homework done. So this is the homework that you guys have. So we'll double check. Haiti, please make a note for me. Let's make sure that the homework information gets emailed and placed in the Facebook group and stuff. So the 24-hour inquiry deletion guide, freezing the secondary consumer reporting agencies, all the information is there. The late payment deletion script. Guys, before you start calling these agencies, make sure you go through the script so you're familiar. Like, don't be on the phone saying, you should delete because of 15 USC 1666B. Like, don't do that. Read your script before you call. Get familiar with the words. Get familiar with the tone. Get familiar with what you're going to do. Just do a little bit of role play first. Confidence is key. And if you don't sound confident over the phone, you really think I'm going to give you a deletion? Get out of here, bro. No, I'm not. So just read your stuff. Be confident in what you're doing. And all the guidance and information that you need is inside the homework. User script is there. The 24-hour play is there. Like all of it is inside of the homework guide. So I'll get together with the team after this call, and I'll make sure that we have everything listed here inside of the homework packet so you guys can run the play. All right. So
hey, Daraine.
Yes.
If you have a debt that's time barred, that's past the statute of limitations, what is the procedure to get it off of your credit?
There in the university, we have a statute of limitations letter.
Okay.
Just
All
go just go inside the university, and I want you to type in statute of limitations in the search bar.
How do I get to the university?
Are you in the university already?
No, I'm just in this class right here.
Oh, my bad. So I thought you was already in there. Haiti, drop the link for me, please. So Haiti will drop the link for you, and you can go and check it out.
Okay.
I don't think
All
she's
right, I got-
anymore.
Good.
And Katie left.
Superhost, you still here? All right, she might be occupied. All right, let me.
Daraine, last question. For the statute of limitations, does that only apply to collections or?
No, very good question. So there's a few different types of statute of limitations. Hold on 1 second. I don't want to mix my thoughts up. Give me 1 second. Boss lady, Daraine to boss lady. All right, let me go find this thing real quick. Give me just 1 second. So when it comes to statute of limitations, right? There's different statutes of limitations. And one of the statutes of limitation that most people are familiar with is the 7-year statute of limitation that a negative item has to report on your credit. So the day that the account went delinquent, the month when the account went delinquent, right? 1 second. The month when the account went delinquent, 7 years from that on the federal side that goes with the FCRA is when it falls off your credit naturally, just naturally falls off. If you didn't do anything, it falls off naturally, right? Now, your state. So let's say, for example, you're in the state. I like using the state of New York because their statute of limitations is 3 years, which is really, really cool. And the statute of limitations is 3 years, then after 3 years, they can't legally collect. Now, the statute of limitations apply where collection efforts and debt collection is concerned. When it comes to the negative accounts or negative items, well, that goes with the 7-year statute of limitations if you do not dispute it. That's why you, as a consumer, you have the right to dispute the account. So if an item is time barred, meaning the statute of limitations legally has passed for it to report, or for not to report, for them to collect, they literally cannot collect. They cannot sue. They cannot do none of that because they have passed the legal time allotted for them to legally collect on the debt. So let me.
Daraine, I got a good question.
All right. Hold on. Let me just get this done because normally my handy dandy person would be here to get this done. So now
The link is there for the university.
we gotta figure it out. Hold on.
She posted it in the chat, Daraine. It's there. The link for university.
She helped me with it yesterday. If you put your email in and the university login and say forgot password, it'll send you a link with a temporary password and you have access to it for 30 days.
Yeah,
she posted the link.
Yeah, it's in the email.
Okay, great. Let me just get this WhatsApp thing working so it's easier to connect the devices. Just give me 2 seconds. All right. So in the meantime, then go ahead and answer the question.
My question was, if you're doing the for the collection that's paid, and they're still listening. And you said that what law or how would you phrase that letter that says that this still reporting it is a form of collection? How would you phrase that letter?
The same way you just said it, because remember, everyone's statute of limitation will need modification, right? So, have you used the statute of limitations letter? Have you read it?
Yeah. Okay. So you're saying just modify that one and just state that. Let me see something. I'm gonna pull this letter up. Okay.
All right, so now let me. All right, let me see something as well. All right, so I'm gonna go find all the links. I do apologize that this is taking so long. All right, while I'm finding this, anyone else had a question while I'm still here?
I have a question.
Talk to me.
Okay, so I got a letter from Jefferson Capital. It's for an old Sprint bill from way back when. And it says that it went to my New York address. It says that you may not, they wanted to notify me that the legal time limit, the statute of limitations for suing you to collect this debt may have expired. So the fact that they contacted me, can I sue them? They're not on my credit.
Well, they contacted you, they didn't initiate. It's not enough ground. So I just dropped the link for the university. That's not enough grounds just because they contacted you. Let's say that they contacted you, right? And then you told them to stop calling you, and then they called you again and again. No, that's a completely different situation. Because now we're talking about harassment.
Okay.
Right? So not that would bring harassment. So hold on guys. Did everybody see the link? I just found it. So did everyone see it?
Yes.
All right. So for those of you that are interested in getting the stuff, joining the university, this is the link that you want to use. So use this link right here. All right. Use this link right here. As it pertains to the homework stuff now, I'm going to get with the team and make sure that all the homework stuff is mailed out. I'm going to make sure that all this stuff gets emailed out. It gets placed in the portal and it gets placed in the Facebook group. So tomorrow, guys, I need to hear what happened when you did the homework. It's very important, excuse me, because it is a part of our dispute process. All right? It's a part of the dispute process.
Daraine, if you got a second, I'd ask you one more question.
All right, what you got? I'm about to get out of here now, Dave. So
okay. All right. Well, First Premier had sent him something. The guy paid it, but it's still showing up as a charge off. I guess he paid it as a charge off. Well, he paid the debt. He cashed him out, but they still reporting it as a charge off.
Wait, say that again.
First Premier. He paid. He talked to him. He called him. made a deal with him. He paid the debt off, but it's still reported negatively as a charge off. It's paid. It says paid, and then it says charge off. Paid, settled, charge off.
You didn't negotiate a paid for deletion?
Nah, he didn't.
So it's paid, but it's still reporting as a charge off, a paid charge off.
Right.
Would you do cease and desist for that one as well?
No, it's not reporting as a collection. Remember,
Is it showing late payments?
cease and desist applies to
Is it still showing a late payment in the back end?
So how you would go about a charge off is using the forbidden credit late payment charge off method. So I would call it the same way Win got his charge offs deleted, and now for round 2 we would go for inaccurate information, because those are kind of the only plays the person has left. Once you pay the debt, you kind of give up the leverage that you have. So for everybody that's hearing the sound of my voice, if you're dealing with a collection or any form of charge off, negotiate a pay for deletion and do not pay until you have received confirmation that you are going to get the pay for deletion. Like that is so important.
Daraine, you'll repeat that again, please.
If you have a collection, right? If you have a collection, you need to, or charge off, and the option is there for you to pay. Make sure you negotiate a pay for deletion, because if you do not negotiate a pay for deletion and you pay them, you have given up the leverage that you had. You must get a confirmation of a pay for deletion. You must get that before you make any form of payment. All right?
It's important to get that in writing too. Make sure it's.
It has to be in writing. It has to be in
No
writing.
emails and none of that. Make sure it's in writing.
But an email can work. An email is still you can still use email as evidence. So an email is fine, but you must get it in electronic writing or on paper. It's like that's the key right there. That's the kryptonite. All right. So all the other questions that you guys may have, save them for tomorrow. I'm about to get out of here. I will see you guys tomorrow. Everyone, thank you for joining. Tomorrow we go into day number 3, and we're just going to take it from there. So everybody have an amazing night. I will see you guys tomorrow. Have an amazing rest of your night.
Peace.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone. God bless.
Good night.
Good night.
Appreciate it.